it's Luke again with another fragrance video. This one is going to be on the top 10 cheapies in my collection. It's not going to be in any particular order, but so we'll start off with Halloween Man Shot. The company used to be Jesus del Pozo, they changed it to Halloween Man. I think it's Halloween Man Shot. It's the red one, anyways. Kind of goes along the Invictus by Paco Rabanne kind of a DNA. It's kind of a bubblegum sweetness. It's very strong. Lasts about 8-9 hours. So, it projects quite a bit. Has a really big sillage, so there's a massive scent bubble around you when you wear it. I will say it does smell quite synthetic. It doesn't smell super expensive, but at the same time it's not super expensive. It's definitely a compliment getter, and a more affordable version of Invictus if you're looking for something along the Invictus 5 lines, but want to pay a little bit less. This is a good choice. So Halloween Man Shot. Next, we will go with Sean John. It's a celebrity fragrance. It smells kind of clean and fresh. It's somewhat reminiscent of Mugler cologne, but it's not as kind of soapy and clean. It's a little bit more aftershavey, if you know what I mean. It's not barbershop fragrance, but it is kind of fresh out of the shower, kind of shower gel type of fragrance. It's kind of typical kind of fragrance you'd think of when you think of a men's fragrance. It's very masculine in that regard as well, so it's very versatile as well because of that. It lasts maybe 6 or so hours. It doesn't have the best longevity, and it performs reasonably well, but not super well. It doesn't project massively. Sean John. Next is very similar. It's probably a bit better quality. It smells a little bit more. It's a little bit more character to it. It's a little bit more bright as well. It's more citrus in it, I think. David Beckham Beyond. It doesn't last super long, but it lasts longer than the other one. It lasts maybe 7.5 hours. Again, it is a shower gel fragrance, fresh out of the shower. Very masculine and very versatile. Woody as well. It dries down into kind of a woody middle and dry down. There's not really much else to say about it. Very wearable scent, and definitely a very good one for like if you're in college, or because it's very inoffensive. So David Beckham Beyond. Not really all that talked about as well. It's kind of underrated, and I don't know why it's not talked about, because it is actually quite good. Next is very youthful one. Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct. Sorry, that's kind of a glare. Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct. A little bit more refined. It's kind of got that kind of sweetness, just similar to Invictus as well, except it's more of a fruity sweetness. there is a bit of a bubblegummy vibe to it. It kind of smells like, you know, the Hubba Bubba chewing gums, to me, at least a watermelon kind of version of it. Very juicy, and fruity and bright, uplifting fragrance. It performs decent. It's not the best performance. It lasts maybe in my skin about 6 to 7 hours, and projects quite well, maybe a bit damage. Yeah. The scent bubble is pretty decent as well. As in the central, you will end up leaving this behind, and people will smell it when you've left. It's a fantastic fragrance for the summer. Okay, yeah, so Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct. Very good for casual wear in the summer. Next, I'll talk about La Lique Encre Noir. This actually smells very expensive, way more expensive than it costs. Kind of, to me, it smells like what I'd imagine a shadow to smell like. It's very reminiscent of kind of Dash and just a phantom kind of a smell. It smells like what you'd expect a haunted house to smell like, or along those lines. It's it's got character, but it's not got character at the same time. It's weird to actually explain, because it's kind of got a ghostly kind of a smell to it. It performs very well, actually, as well. It lasts maybe 8 or so hours. Yeah, 8 to 9 hours on my skin. It projects quite well. You definitely kind of get an afterlife kind of a smell to it. It's very difficult to explain the smell of it, other than it smells like kind of phantom, like a black mist. If you're like walking through black mist, that's what this reminds me of. That's what, if you kind of close your eyes when you're smelling it, it's kind of what comes to my mind anyways. It's kind of got that kind of mysterious, kind of unknown kind of aura to it. It smells very expensive again. Very, very high quality ingredients in it. And you can definitely smell it because it smells very smooth at the same time. So, La Lique Encre Noir. Next, I will talk about Just Jack Oud Oak. So this is a dupe of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And actually, it is very, very close, at least to my nose. It doesn't perform as well, but Oud Wood by Tom Ford performs very well. It lasts like 10, 11 plus hours and has really good projection. It's very masculine. This maybe lasts about 8, 9 hours or so. That's all you really need. You don't need something that projects like an absolute monster and lasts 20 hours or something. So this is very, very good alternative to Tom Ford Oud Wood. In actual fact, the company makes sense, which have the Just Jack and the Just Jack, which do dupes of Tom Ford, and Joe Malone dupes as well, are from the same company. makes sense. They're very, very good alternatives as well, I find. At least all the ones I've tried are very, very good alternatives to the Joe Malones and the Tom Fords. Obviously, they're not as high quality, and they don't have the same performance, but scent-wise, they do get like 95% of the actual scent profile of the Tom Fords and the Joe Malones. So, yeah, this is a very, very good and wearable version of Oud Wood by Tom Ford. It's just Jack Oud Oak. I actually really like the bottles as well. They're very, very nice bottles. But yeah, and very masculine and very it's not as upscale as Tom Ford Oud Wood, which is a little bit more formal, but at the same time it's very versatile as well. Next, CK1 Shock. Actually, very, very good fall winter fragrance, and very good into tobacco fragrance, and it's a very wearable tobacco fragrance. If you're trying to get into tobacco as a note in fragrances, this is what I'd suggest starting off with. It lasts like 7 hours again, and projects very well. It's definitely very, very good for casual wear and somewhat dressed up wear in the fall and the winter, so smart casual would probably be the best for this. It's very, very good for date night in fall and winter as well, I'd say. It's definitely better choices for date night, but would be very, very good. It's kind of smoky, I don't think it has incense, but it kind of, the smokiness smells like it could come from incense, but I don't think it does have incense, but makes it smell a little bit more expensive because it smells like incense is in it, which is an expensive ingredient from what I'm aware of. So that kind of building of that kind of scent in the fragrance was makes it smell more expensive than it actually is. Very, very versatile as well. You can wear this nights out, you can wear it date night, you can wear it, I wouldn't wear it in the summer, but you could wear it in the summer. Like, it's definitely wearable in the summer. You could wear it all year round, but I suggest it more so for the fall and for the winter, just because of the scent profile being so kind of dark and smoky. So yeah, Calvin Klein CK1 Shock for him. Next, we're going to talk about one I've talked about quite a bit already. Bentley from Men Intense. This is a niche fragrance in a designer bottle at a designer price tag. The bottle isn't the best, it's not the worst, but it's definitely leather and boozy. Very, very leathery, very, very boozy. Kind of, when I smell this, I think of James Bond in a car chase. Just it's definitely a very, very masculine fragrance, and it's definitely something you'd wear as an alpha male, but not like kind of super macho. It's just kind of suave. It's a very upscale fragrance as well. I'd wear this smart casual to quite formal as well. You could wear it somewhat casual, but I wouldn't dress it down too much, because it is a very elegant smelling fragrance. It's extremely well blended, which I've said before, but because you can tell that there's leather, you can tell the booziness is in it, but it's quite difficult to tell the notes apart because of how well they're blended. The leather and the booziness from the initial spray to the dry down, and it's very difficult to pick up on anything else that's in it. There's a small bit of spice, there's a little bit of wood and a little bit of spiciness in it as well, but that's very difficult to actually kind of pick up on, unless you're kind of trying to pick up on it. Extremely high quality, and quite confused as to why it's priced at what it's priced at, because it's definitely worth more than it's priced. Bentley from Intense. Next, I will talk about one that smells very, very good, but smells like it would last longer than it actually does. Zara Rich Warm Addictive is a fantastic fragrance for day and night specifically. But fall, it's very good. I wouldn't wear it in the winter because I don't think it would actually perform well enough. But here in Ireland, it probably would. So it would be something I would wear in the winter. It's kind of got La Nuit Alone by Yves Saint Laurent kind of a vibe. It's kind of along that scent profile. It doesn't perform very well though. It doesn't perform horribly. Lasts maybe 6-ish hours, maybe just under 6 hours, and on my skin anyways, and it projects moderately. That's what makes it so good for date night. It's kind of a fragrance that needs to be discovered on you rather than announced, and because of that, it makes it very, very good for date night because it is extremely addictive, like it says. It is definitely rich, warm, and addictive. It's fantastic quality. It smells expensive, but it does not perform very well. If this performed well, this would be a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It's maybe an 8.5 or 9 for me, just because it doesn't perform as well as I would personally like it to, because it's one of my favourite smelling fragrances that I have. So yeah, Zara Rich Warm Addictive, definitely worth picking up. But at the same time, the price it's at, I wouldn't have been expecting it to perform super well. It's just that it smells so good. I would have loved for it to perform a bit better than it does. So yeah, Zara Rich Warm Addictive, and by the way, that's not me knocking it either. It's a fantastic fragrance. It wouldn't be in the list if it wasn't. Definitely worth checking out. Zara Rich Warm Addictive. And last is one that is quite similar, performs a little bit better, and it's Mandarina Duck Pure Black. Again, La Nuit Alone by Yves Saint Laurent kind of a vibe. I actually really like the bottle of this as well, actually. It's a very kind of masculine bottle. It does last maybe 7-ish hours, maybe just over. Projects a little bit better than the Zara Rich Warm Addictive, but it doesn't smell as good as the Zara one does. Not to say that this smells bad, it definitely doesn't. It's a fantastic fragrance. It does perform better. It's kind of got that kind of cardamom, spicy, kind of dark, resinous type of a DNA, just like Zara Rich Warm Addictive. It's very enticing and very kind of, what's the word? It's kind of, it draws people in when they initially spray it, or when they initially can smell it. It will draw people in, but they do need to get close enough to smell it then. So that's the only thing. It doesn't perform the best. It does perform better than Zara though, again. It doesn't smell, in my opinion, as nice as the Zara one though. It doesn't smell as expensive in terms of scent profile as Zara Rich Warm Addictive, but it is still very, very good. And definitely worth picking up for the price. So Mandarina Duck Pure Black.